Aloha class, I wanted to do a video for exercise 2-3, computing job costs. So Mickley Company's predetermined overhead rate is $14 per direct labor hour, and its direct labor wage rate is $12 per hour. The following information pertains to job A-500. So direct materials is $230, direct labor is $108. What is the total manufacturing cost assigned to job A-500? So if we looked at what's going to go into a job order cost sheet, we would have A-500 over here. We don't know the dates really, but we'll know the number of units completed at the end. Direct materials, they gave us, direct labor they gave us, but manufacturing overhead, they did not give us a total amount, right? So we will need to solve for this manufacturing overhead, total cost. Once we find all those factors, we'll sum them up and then divide it by the number of units, right, to get a per unit basis. So those are the two questions asked in this problem, right? So if I go to my Excel sheet, I can see they gave me this information and this information, but I don't know the total here. I know that direct labor cost per hour is $12 and manufacturing overhead per hour is $14 per hour, predetermined overhead rate. Right, so I do know that this is $108 and it's $12 per hour. So if I can solve for the direct labors per hour, the direct labor hours, not per hour, but the total direct labor hours that I'm using for my direct labor costs, it'll be the same number of hours that I'll use in my overhead calculation, right? Actual hours that they use. Right, so whatever hours they're using here times by this rate will give me this amount. The same number of hours used here in this overhead times by this rate will give me my total. So I need to figure out how many hours they're using, right? If this is the total cost and this is the per hour basis, is it possible that I could solve for X, right? This is the total cost, right? So $12 times a specific number of hours will give me $108, right? $12 times a specific number of hours will give me $108 total, right? So I could cross multiply here, right? Cross multiply using algebra, it's just $12 divided by 1 would still give me $12. I could times 108,000 times it by $1 and $12 times by X. Right, so if I cross multiplied 1 times by any number will be the same number, equals $12 X, right? And I do want to solve for X, so I will divide $12, or I'll divide $108. I can just refer to that cell, or I can say $108 divided by $12 to isolate the X, and this will give me 9 hours, right? So $108 divided by 9 hours will give me $12 per 1 hour, right? So I know that they used $9 over here, right? So 9 hours over here, 9 hours times by $12 per hour. They're also going to use 9 hours over here. It's the same number of hours, direct labor hours, and we'll times it by this rate for overhead, right? So those are actual hours used, and now I have a total overhead, so I can sum these values up, these three up, right? I'll sum this up. This is the total cost for job A-50, and then I'll divide it by 40 units to get on a per unit basis. So you can see this division over here. I can do it again, right? The total divided by 40 units will give me a per unit basis. And so we're looking for this answer for the first part and this answer for the second part.